Now, if you caught my review of the Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Ultra, the Pro 360, and the, of course, Pro, the 14-inch clamshell, you know that I was less than enamored with their outing here in 2024. And for good reason. If you didn't check out those reviews, I'll leave a link in the description below. You might want to check them out. They could have done better, put it that way. Now, having said that, LG sent over a 16-inch laptop for me to check out, and I am simply blown away by how light and thin this is, and especially the light part about it, of course. It really comes in at a very lightweight, meaning you could take a nice 16-inch laptop with you on the go. They outfitted it with the Core Ultra 7 155H, the Meteor Lake processor, and they paired it, yes, with a discrete GPU, the RTX 3050. Now, of course, it's not going to blow you away with maximum graphics performance of, say, of a 4090, but the 3050 is a definite boost up over something like Iris Xe or even the Intel Arc graphics, which we've been seeing here in 2024. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the brand new LG Gram Pro 16, all new for 2024. Coming up. Now, before we get to the unit itself, I just want to let everyone know, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by LG. I'm not being sponsored by LG. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Now, LG sent this over for me to review. I don't have to give it back. What does that mean? Well, it means I get to give it away. I don't want to keep it. That's right. I want to give it away to one of you listeners or viewers, and I'm going to have some information on that very soon on the giveaway. You will have to be a subscriber to the channel, and there are a couple other things you might have to do. But having said that, I would like to give this away. More information on that coming very soon. Now, this starts at $1899.99 for the 16-inch OLED display, of course, with 1 terabyte of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, the unit that LG sent over comes in at $2199, which is, of course, $200 off right now, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, and the Core Ultra 7 processor as well. Of course, 16-inch, 2880 by 1800, variable refresh rate OLED display. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's super light, as we'll get into very soon. For those that are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below for more information on where you can buy one, and I'll have more information on the giveaway very soon, so stay tuned. You know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, looks like some pretty decent packaging. Okay, wow, the light LG gram here, not surprising. Of course, we'll get a measurement of the weight, but this, of course, is the gram line. We expect it to be on the light side. Here you get some documentation, of course, product information, warranty information. This is going to be the power cord and the power charger. So this is going to be a 90-watt fast charging adapter, of course. So you can see it here. It's a pretty good 90 watts, again, on the compact side here. There's a little bit of heft. We'll get a measurement of that. And of course, you get your USB Type-C power cord, and it seems pretty good. There you go. That is your charging system here, 90 watts all in, and we will get a measurement of the travel weight with that. And of course, the unit itself. So this is the 16-inch version for 2024, and what always blows my mind when I hold one of these grams is just how thin and light this is, and the build really seems very good right off the bat. Now, one of the things that some people may have criticized in the past, you know, it might not have had the most sturdy build quality because of the magnesium alloy they're using to keep the weight down. But I can tell you right away, I can see this seems like an improvement, and I don't see too much give like we saw in the past. So pretty good on the chassis there. It has some gram branding there, but pretty thin and light. And you can see it here. This is the black color, and I'm going to see how well the fingerprints are on this. You know, obviously we're starting to see a little bit. It's a typical with any black laptop, but of course that is par for the course. But let's see if we can open this with one finger. Oh, we certainly can, of course, if that's important to you. And this is looking good so far. And you can see here, this is the LG Gram 16. Now it is a glossy display. We'll get to that in a moment. But again, this is the keyboard layout. You can see it here. This is a 16-inch laptop that really is very light. And we're going to get a measurement in a moment. But you do have the numeric keypad there. It looks like it's a interesting layout. You know, it looks like it might be okay. We'll check all that out. Of course, that moves off the touchpad to the center there. And then touchpad seems pretty good. Let's give a listen to the keyboard. So with just the unit alone, you're looking at 1.263 kilograms, and that would be 2 pounds, 12.6 ounces. And that's pretty impressive for a 16-inch laptop here, especially with a discrete GPU. Wow. Now, with the power charger, the power cord, and the USB-C cable for that, you're looking at 1.686 kilograms, and that is 3 pounds, 11.5 ounces. That's pretty light, especially considering this does have a discrete GPU in it, and it is a 16-inch laptop. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, let's check out the port selection. On the left side is an HDMI 2.1 port. Next to that are two Thunderbolt 4 ports that are full function, supporting data, charge, and display out. On the right side are two USB-A ports. You gotta love those legacy ports. And finally, a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack. Notably missing, no SD card reader, and I would like to split up those USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, one on each side. We don't get that, but I think a pretty good overall port selection considering how thin and light this is. Now, to get inside this laptop, it's really easy. Remove the 4 feet, remove the 4 Phillips head screws, and you're in. It's that simple. Just use a pry tool, guitar pick to pull off the bottom cover. It's pretty simple. And for those wondering, those 4 feet are easily snapped back on. No problem. They stay on once you do put them back on. Now, like most laptops here in 2024, the RAM is soldered into the motherboard, but the good news is that you can get this with 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM running at 7460-700 mega transfers per second, which is the faster RAM because it is soldered in. Of course, I still like having upgradable RAM, but of course, that is a dying breed here in 2024. Not too surprising. That being said, of course, this is also running in dual channel mode. So this review unit does have that 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it also has the 2 terabytes of storage. That means you're going to get 2 SSD slots on this, and that is great. So for those that need extra storage, you have that option here, and it is user upgradable. And as you can see from these reads and writes, excellent results here for 2024. Certainly what we need on a laptop of this caliber to do in terms of the reads and writes. Really good there. Now, when it comes to the wireless, you're looking at a Wi-Fi 6E, a Bluetooth 5.3 combo card that is soldered into the motherboard. No upgradable type of card here for the user, of course, since it is soldered in. But as far as the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, both working flawlessly. Would have been nice to have Wi-Fi 7. Of course, that probably is coming down the road at some point. But right now, you can get this Wi-Fi 6E, and it's working flawlessly. Again, no problems with either the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth. All right, let's talk about the display. And to me, that is the star of the show here. It's 16 inches, 2880 by 1800 resolution, OLED or OLED, which of course gives you the really deep blacks, the super vibrant colors, and the really high contrast. It also has a variable refresh rate up to 120 hertz. Well, what does that mean? It means you're going to get that really smooth scrolling and that very fluid experience with a high refresh rate display. That is always welcome here. Now, this is a non-touch display. It is also a glossy display, so depending on your lighting conditions, you will notice some glare and reflections. It wasn't too bad, but again, I do have a lot of studio lights, so just keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, it is a glossy display, so just keep that in mind. Now, as far as brightness is concerned, they claim a brightness of 400 nits. I actually got 425 nits, which is even brighter than they're claiming here. And of course, it can go up even higher if you're watching high dynamic range content. It also has a really good coverage here of the color gamut. It's really excellent, actually, with a very color accurate display with a very low delta E score, which is really good. So if you're going to do content creation on this laptop in Lightroom, Photoshop, video editing, in DaVinci Resolve maybe, or in Premiere Pro, you're going to get the job done because this is not only color accurate, like I said, it also has excellent coverage of that color gamut. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of OLED displays, but there are some things you need to be aware of. Number one, screen burn-in down the road might be an issue, although I personally have not experienced any screen burn-in, especially with this laptop or any other laptop in the modern day times here. Of course, that is something just to be aware of. And then there's a screen door effect on some OLED displays, not present here. I didn't notice it. It doesn't have a digitizer layer, so no screen door effect that I could detect here. And finally, some people are sensitive to PWM or screen flickering. That is present on an OLED display as we have here, so just be aware of that. But at the end of the day, I'm not sensitive to it, but I know some people are, so I'd be remiss if I didn't point that out. But my overall takeaway is this display is simply stunning. It's excellent for getting work done, but it's also excellent for consuming media. Watching movies on it has been spectacular. An excellent job here done by LG.
So this is the camera on the LG Gram Pro 16 here for 2024. You're looking at a 1080p camera. It is 30 frames per second. It also is an IR camera. That means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. It also has studio effects. Yes, this has an NPU, so you get the AI enhanced effects here. You get the background blur, you get all the bells and whistles, you get the auto framing, the eye contact and stuff like that. This is the standard blur. This is the portrait blur. And then this is back to standard. Let's turn that off. And then the auto framing will keep you always in frame. So if I go out of frame here, it should work. There it goes. And it will keep you always in frame. So that is working reasonably well here. And what do you think about the video quality? What do you think about the audio quality? Let me know in the comment section below.
The integrated AI function simplifies the image search through keyboard identification, automatic categorizing of photos saved on the laptop in the AI-powered gallery. The LG Glance by Miramax for security and privacy enhancement with AI-powered gaze detection. It also has smart battery performance management with AI. As you can see, AI is certainly the central theme here with this laptop in 2024. Now, one of the features that I'm really liking is the LG Gram Link, and that allows you to connect your smartphone to your device here. And of course, this is the LG Gram Pro. Now, to demonstrate the LG Gram Link, I'm going to send this photo from my smartphone here, my S24 Ultra, from my album here. And then I'm going to go from the camera and I'm going to scroll down here. And I have one of the sky from the other day. I'm going to say done. And guess what? It went right over to here. You can see what we sent over. And here's the download folder. And I've already sent one earlier. So let's take a look at it. Boom, there it is. So seamless transfer using the LG Gram Link. I like that feature. Now, I actually like this keyboard better than the one on the Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Pro 360 and the Ultra. I thought this one had actually a little bit more feedback, a little bit better key travel, although still a bit on the shallow side, much like the other one. Not too surprising. This is such a thin and light laptop to begin with, but a little bit better here on the LG. So typing out documents, emails, and the like has actually been pretty comfortable. It has a nice backlight on it, so if you want to get work done in a dark room or a dimly lit environment, you can. It also has a pretty nice size glass precision touchpad. It's not a haptic touchpad, and it did work well. I mean, as far as the scrolling, doing all the gestures. So would have liked to have a haptic touchpad, but again, we don't get it here. But it does work as you'd expect it to work. So that is good in that regard. And for those number crunchers, yep, you do get a numeric keypad. All right, let's talk performance. And before we get to that, I want to show you the LG Smart Assistant here where you can change the different settings in this laptop and specifically the cooling mode. You can do low, normal, high, and the max. The max will have the fans up the most, of course, the loudest, and that will be good if you need maximum power. But in the normal mode, where I found that everyday use was really good and was quiet, I would go with that mode for most of the use of this laptop. But having said that, I ran the Geekbench 6 here, and I got a very similar single core score than the Galaxy Book 4 Pro from Samsung, the 360. But check this out, better multi-core performance over the Samsung, and the Samsung was pretty disappointing in my opinion. This is a lot better. This also has a discrete GPU with a maximum graphics power 45 watts and that RTX 3050, something the Galaxy Book 4 Pro 360 doesn't have. And it had better graphics performance as a result. So you're looking at 52,801 versus a meager 27,080, which is low even for Intel Arc graphics. So kudos to LG on this. Now, when I ran the Cinebench 2024, guess what? Similar results here. In fact, actually better results on the LG side of things here, 100 to 91 single core versus that of the Samsung, and 756 versus 574. A much better result with the LG Gram here, that's for sure. Now, keep in mind, the RTX 3050 is not going to blow you away. You're not going to be playing AAA titles anytime soon, but it does give you a little bit of a boost over Intel Arc graphics, as evidenced by the 3D Mark scores here. Time Spy score was better on the LG Gram, as well as the Firestrike score. And it also did better on the Time Spy stress test. Of course, this got a passing score, whereas the Samsung failed that test, although not by much, but it still failed nonetheless. So those are some of the things you could take away. Having the discrete graphics here, certainly a little bit of a leg up, a little bit of a boost when it comes to graphics performance. And I think you know this is not a gaming laptop. You're not going to play those AAA titles, like I said, at the highest settings, but you do get some playable frame rates on some of the more popular titles if you lower some of the settings here. So just keep that in mind, but just wanted to point that out, of course.
And when I ran the Time Spy stress test to see if this will thermal throttle under heavy load, great news, it got a passing score of 98.9%, meaning it detected virtually no thermal throttling under load. And good news when it comes to the surface temperatures, when I put it under heavy load, never getting overly hot where you place your fingers on the keyboard. Now, it does heat up a little bit, of course, by the vents above the keyboard below the display, which is normal. That's where you'd expect it to be. Now, on the other side, there are a couple of hot spots, but never getting overly hot to the point where it's too hot to the touch. So relatively cool overall in terms of the surface temperatures under load. Now, one thing you will notice is the fan noise when you're pushing this at maximum load, reaching as high as 50, 51 decibels, which is very noticeable, of course. To keep it cool, they have to ramp up the fans. But when you're in the normal mode doing everyday tasks such as Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, it remained relatively quiet. The fans were not much of an issue. And where this laptop really excels is in battery life. We're looking at a 90 watt-hour battery, and that's a nice size battery for a 16-inch laptop. Certainly bigger than the battery found on the Galaxy Book 4 Ultra that we looked at. That had a 76 watt-hour battery. Now, when I ran these battery tests with 120 hertz enabled, check these numbers out. PC Mark 10 Modern Office, 14 hours and 29 minutes. That was better than the Ultra there. Better in video playback, 17 hours and 24 minutes versus 15 hours and 57 minutes. Really excellent results overall. They did an excellent job. So if you're going to go on a cross-country flight and you want to get work done, you're not going to run out of juice, that's for sure. And you'll be able to watch movies on top of that as well. So good endurance from the LG Gram Pro here. Now, the LG Gram Pro 16 sports stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos. That's going to help with the spatial audio. These are 3 watts each in terms of the speaker, so a total of 6 watts of total power. So I think it sounds pretty good. Good volume, good mids, decent bass. Actually sounds overall like a good laptop speakers here, but I want you to be the judge. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, let's give it a listen. Okay, let's bring it all home. What do I think about the LG Gram Pro 16 here for 2024? I like the gorgeous 16-inch OLED display with 120 hertz refresh rate. I like the good CPU, GPU performance for this ultra thin and light laptop. That's not something we normally see, and we get it here. It's good. Very good stereo speakers with the Dolby Atmos to help with the spatial audio. And as I said, that super thin and light design is pretty unique in this category, so I really like what they were able to fit into this chassis. Quiet and balanced mode, of course, doing everyday tasks such as Microsoft Office, email, web browsing. I like the fact that you get 2 M.2 2280 SSD slots. Great for expanding out storage when you need it down the road. Now, you also get the RTX 3050 discrete GPU, which gives you a nice little boost over the Intel Arc graphics, although don't expect to play AAA titles on their highest settings, but it definitely does give you a nice little boost in terms of graphics. It's got excellent battery life, and it also has that faster LPDDR5X RAM running in dual channel mode. So that is one of the consequences, of course, of it being soldered into the motherboard. Now, there are not too many negatives here. I do want to point out that the fans are noticeable under load. The RAM is not upgradable. There is some PWM detected. There's a little screen wobble when typing, not much. And there's no haptic touchpad. But I don't think those are any deal breakers in any stretch. I think LG certainly checks all the boxes here as far as the display, the performance, the overall chassis being so thin and light. It really is a pretty unique design here in the fact that they were able to fit so much power into such a thin and light chassis. And they were able to pull it off, not only with the gorgeous display, the performance, but excellent battery life. So this is going to be great for those on the go. This is a really good laptop, and I highly recommend it here in 2024.
So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. And don't forget to check out my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.